Okay, if you found those corrections that we've just done don't seem to hold, or you didn't get as good a correction as you would have liked, you may want some assistance by using wedges. So by placing these wedges under the anomalates, we can create more posterior or more anterior pelvic rotation. So just to give you an example, if this is one of the anomalates and this is the sacrum, if the anomalant goes into anterior pelvic rotation, the sacrum will go into counter nutation. If the anomalant goes into posterior rotation, the sacrum will go into nutation. So if I have a sacrum that's stuck in flexion, then I will want that anomalant to go into anterior pelvic rotation to get it to come more posterior. If I have a sacrum that's stuck in extension, I'll want that anomalant to go into more posterior rotation so the sacrum can drop forward into flexion or nutation. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So we're going to pretend on this right side we have a sacrum that is stuck in flexion. Because it's stuck in flexion, I want to encourage it to come posteriorly into counter nutation. So I'm going to place the wedge under the inferior iliac spine. On the contralateral side, I'm going to place the wedge under the ASIS. So when we look at the configuration here, the left anomalant is going into posterior rotation, the right anomalant is going into anterior rotation. This assistance of creating rotation is also going to assist sacral movement for our correction. So now, once again, I get my client to look at the deep sulcus side. I place my fingers in the SIJ under the PSIS and the palmar aspect of my hand over the ILA. So remember, I have a left on left sacral torsion that gets better in back bending. So it is stuck in nutation, stuck in flexion. I encourage more anterior rotation and contralateral posterior rotation. I open the SIJ, and when I feel that movement, I simply ask my client to push back against me while I scoop that sacrum. Okay, let's now do the left on left sacral torsion that gets worse in back bending. So here we have the left sacral base stuck in extension or counter nutation. So I want to encourage it to come forward. And I'm going to also use the contralateral wedging to create more movement through the SIJ. So here I have my wedge under the ASIS, which is creating posterior pelvic rotation, and now the sacrum is wanting to go forward into nutation. I place my fingers in under the PSIS onto the sacrum, left sacral base that's stuck in nutation, counter nutation. And this time, instead of closing the front and opening the posterior aspect of the SIJ, I close the posterior and open the anterior aspect of the SIJ. When I feel the sacrum drop, I then ask my client to pull their leg against my resistance, and I encourage the sacrum to